Hello, this is Ninja's Cry. Welcome back to another episode of Saints Row 4. Let's continue this quest. We must save Christmas.
Claus is holed up under a protective shield, gaining strength. At midnight, he'll be unstoppable, unless you can bring holiday cheer back to the people before the clock strikes 12. Use Santa's sleigh to deliver presents to those on the nice list, and punish the naughty with coal. Hopefully we can kill the bastard and save your future from the hell I've lived.
Step 1, fly sleigh. Step 2, spread holiday cheer. How do I do step 2?
It's really quite simple. You must deliver presents to the nice girls and boys and send coal to those who are not.
Easy. I can do that.
Oh, believe me, try visiting the entire world in a single evening before you say it's easy. Though, as my junior Santa, I'm sure you'll do just fine.
He called me Junior Santa.
Careful. Claus has even turned the weather against you if you fly too high.
Oh, okay.
Gift-giving time.
And don't forget coal delivery. That's very important.
Coal doesn't bring cheer though, does it?
It reminds people that they have to be better if they want to be on the nice list. After all, nobody wants to be on the naughty list.
What does it take to be on the nice list? For me, for instance.
You've come a long way since you rescued me. You still need to understand the true giving spirit of the holidays.
I won't let you down, Santa.
Oh. Take multiple hits. Oh, come on. There we go. Yes, come on. One more house.
All right, moving on.
Okay, turn around, turn around. This one's closer. Whoa. Gotta stay low. No, I think it's that low.
Wake up and get your presents, people!
You don't want them to wake up. It's important to make delivery while people still sleep in their homes.
If people saw you, they'd have even more holiday spirit. So why hide?
That's a story I'm sure you're not interested in.
Come on, you can tell your Junior Santa.
Well, there may have been an incident with a mother attacking me under some mistletoe. When Mary saw the lipstick on my fur collar, I told her it wasn't my fault. But ever since then, she's insisted I only deliver presents while everyone's asleep.
I bet the mother was a good kisser, though, right?
The holiday spirit is beginning to weaken Claus's force shield. Keep going.
One more to go. You're taking out the planes that are firing at me, but I don't know. Fast this way? Unless I get
Naughty
shot
and
down.
you know it, here's some coal. If you're naughty and you know it, here's some coal. If you're naughty and you know it, then the flames will surely show it. If you're naughty and you know it, here's some coal.
That's quite a catchy song. Would you mind if I sang it on future holidays?
As long as I keep the licensing rights.
have it in your heart to defeat Claus, remember to embrace the spirit of the season.
Thanks, Santa. I will.
It's almost midnight. You have to hurry.
The spirit's alive, but still I stand. Once you're dead, I'll corrupt this land.
Oh, snowballs!
Boss, are you all right?
Keep your shirt on, I'm fine.
Don't worry, dear. We're here to give out a
Yeah.
holiday feeding.
We didn't crack Claus' shield. What now?
The spirit is stirring, but this city leans heavy on the naughty side. Like the different symbols of the season, and maybe these people will come around.
Light, which one? Fire.
Joyous Kwanzaa!
On.
Happy Hanukkah!
Oh, I forgot to check for computers and such.
But what is this pole and how do I light it on fire?
How can you not know what a Festivus pole is?
You need to perform a feat of strength!
This?
So much for the pole.
Now we all have to bitch at each other!
Come again?
It's called airing grievances.
I can't stand those diet cookies you bake me. They...
My turn. I'm sick and tired of how everyone takes it for granted that I'm always going to hack this and find information on that, and know where to go and what to do next. Did I ever get a bonus for doing all this for you? No.
The spaceship, Kinsey? We gave it to you.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you did. Well, never mind then. What about you, Pierce? You always complain about something. Let's hear it.
Come on, you can't be serious.
Really? I got nothing. Well, it's the holiday spirit.
We're going to need a bit more holiday cheer to crack that shield!
Anyone that's not me have an idea?
Finish delivering the presents, of course.
I think the broken sleigh might make that difficult.
Well then, Saint Kinsey to the rescue.
Hang on, where'd you get these?
You can't stop Christmas just because of a cracked sleigh and a few broken presents. I figured since you gave me the station, I might as well help save the holidays.
You'll put my workshop out of business, young lady.
Santa, I'd never want to step on your toes like that.
Oh, he's just teasing you. It's impossible to tell the difference with him sometimes.
Use your telekinesis to pass out the presents!
I know, I'm working on it.
Hope you've been good.
No, not you. I want you.
Hope
There you
you've been good.
You think it's cheer, but you cannot see. All of these people now serve me!
Claus is converting more people! Keep it up! He's getting desperate!
Come on.
Hope you've been good.
Is that enough?
You can't kill my holiday!
Let some cheer into your hearts!
That did it!
Fools, look on in wonder. Here comes Claus to tear you asunder.
Oh.
Oh shit. We're fucked.
Oh! He used up all his power! He strengthened himself! We have to kill him now!
Surely nothing's stopping him.
I don't understand it! He should be dying!
Well, that's because he's protected by the hatred and greed of those still on the naughty list. Only one thing can cure that.
Hearing and sharing. Oh, I know. Claus needs his own top-of-the-line laptop and bondage harness.
Claus needs a what? Come on, let me pick it up.
Well, it wouldn't be a holiday without new bakeware and a flamethrower.
Here! I know just the thing! A brand new bioengineered arm!
Sure.
Fuck you, Jaws! I just want to be clear. You can't murder your way onto the nice list.
Santa,
You never believed in me. But despite that, you spread cheer to the people of Steelport. You saved the holiday, and for that, I thank you. But it takes more than one good deed to show a change of heart.
I know, Santa.
Listen, the night isn't over yet. Experience the joy of Christmas, not because it will keep me from becoming a god tyrant, but because it feels good to spread joy to strangers and build memories with family and friends. You do that, and I'll put you on the nice list.
Are you sure there's time?
It's Christmas. There's always time for a miracle.
Jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells time and jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in the one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle up around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling feet. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime and jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in the one-horse. Hello, guys.
Gingerbread Man. Homie Claus. Gingerbread Man. Santa. Dasher? Cool. Slayer. Jolly Comet. Naughty and nice. Now there's still a few things we missed. I'm gonna see if I can get the last few letters and computers. So I'll cut right back. Okay, and we're back. I was missing one letter, which was north of the North Pole, and one computer, which was on top of where we got the BB gun. Let's do the letters to Santa first. Pierce. I'm a man of few words and some pleasure, so I'll get right to it. A few cases of Saints Flow. Not picky with the flavor, like them all. Oh, I know. Go for the variety packs. copy of all my commercials I did back on Earth. I'd like to have them for my portfolio, just in case you come across some intergalactic talent agency that's looking for a new up-and-coming on-screen actor. I know I'd kill in outer space. Santa, in order to stop... Wait. What the? That was weird. There's Santa. Continue. Dear Santa, as I'm absolutely positive you would agree I've been nice this year, I wanted to send you a list of desired presents I would love to find tucked under my trees come Christmas. Feel free to bring me as many of these as you would like, though. The more you do, the better. I can to save the collective rear end of the saints and humanity. Here they are in no particular order. What does it actually say? Ash, in order to stop the Zen here and any that may still exist in the galaxy beyond our own solar system, I require the following items. Tactical layout of all Zen ship classes and battle stations. All access codes and physical keys for any area on said ships or stations. A complete account of all battle strategies used by the Zen Empire, both current and in the past. Sid. The one known as Santa. If I have been informed correctly, then you are willing to accept letters which dictate requests for gifts by those who believe in you, as I am one who believes in such a concept that I am sending you this list for the upcoming holiday season. Is it just not working, or what? I don't know. Johnny Gat. Bring me the following. 4.45 Fletcher heavy pistols, 2 9mm tactical pistols. Bad King. Dear Santa, I know it's been rough for the human race right now, which is why I think sending this letter is so important. It reminds us all of the collective joy and happiness this time of year brings, even those who are facing as much adversity as we are. Shani. I know I wasn't always a good girl in the past, but I'd like to think I've changed for the better this year, really hoping I made it onto the nice list, because if Pierce did and I didn't, then I'd never hear the end of it. Plus, I think you'll find my wish list to be rather short and totally in the spirit of the holiday, so here goes. Find the time to stop by and drop presents off under a tree aboard the ship, then I would really like the following items. Let's say. Oh, the complete Nightblade DVDs collection edition box set. The Secret of the Cyprian Order collector's edition box set signed by the show writers, and Villains of the Night fan compendium of the many evils Nightblade has faced over the years. Nightblade Swimsuit Limited Edition comic book. One Dakimakura with the bloody Cananis, one with Marion and one with Nightblade, and one of everything Kinsey wants as well. Your fan, Matt Miller. Actually, let's go back and see. Pierce. Oh, a full set of high-end recording equipment, you know, preamps, microphones, vintage Studio A180 reel-to-reel records, recorder, keyboards, etc. You'd think for being advancing on technology they'd have good equipment, but serious, this Zen stuff is crap. And I also asked for a life-size Saints Flow can with arms and legs and stuff. Do not get it for them. They just wanted to put it in my bunk while I sleep so that when I wake up I freak the hell out. And that's about it. I'd totally cool if I don't get all this stuff, so don't sweat it if you can't find the Saints Flow. But item 4 is a must. Seriously, that's just not cool. Okay, what else did Kinsey ask for? Prototype computer processor capable of quadrillions of instructions per second. One has one in a secret lab somewhere. Neural interface for my laptop so I can connect it directly to my brain, also in a secret government lab, though I think it's a different lab. Research on the existence of alien technology so I can compare it to the Zen tech. Look up Area 31, secret government base that all Area 51 alien was taken to after the public became too curious. And technology specs for the government's secret program on... Okay, actually, make this easier for you. If it's tech-based and comes from secret government research labs that even the president doesn't know about, then I want it. I know I can put it to better use than they've been, since they couldn't even bother to stop the Zen from invading in the first place. Oh, one more thing, a new leather harness and swing for personal use. What else did she ask for? If you're willing to throw in a personal request in there, I'd really like some earplugs to keep Pierce singing out of my head while I try to concentrate on my training. Sid. A robotic form complete with arms, legs, synthetic skin, fully functioning human anatomy. If option 1 is not possible, then the following would be acceptable substitute. A. A wider body of attached wider variety of attachable tools for my metal shell, a modular voice program so I may sound like any individual I wish, a detachable wireless camera so I may spy on any room in the ship undetected, weapons of any kind so that I may not feel as vulnerable, fun Shandy downloaded into my own memory matrix so I can have someone to talk to even if only in my mind, extra strength lubricant. Huh. What else did he ask for? 2 Deacon 12-gauge shotguns, a crate of SWAT SMGs, 2 crates of Shokolov AAV AR rifles, 1 J7 rocket launcher with as many crates of ammo as you can find, a knife thrower, 6 large knives, 2 small knives, 4 containers of hair gel. Did he ask for? So with that in mind, I have a few things I'd like to request if you have the time to deliver them. If not, understand, Santa. Nice fountain pen that's refillable, a new yellow scarf, a tailored silk suit, box of cigars. I'm sure you remember my brand, Santa. That's all. I'm sorry I won't have the cookies you like from that coronary bakery this year, but I hope you understand. Once you find a good kitchen and some supplies out here in space, I'll see about whipping up a few batches of chocolate chip for you. Shandy. I wish for you to give my younger self the best Christmas she's ever had. I know not what even I expect to say, but here's the thing. I never had a good Christmas after my family left, as I'm sure you all people know, Santa. I was either too stoned out of my mind or too busy being with awful boyfriends who never really cared. Just thought it'd be nice for younger me to experience a good holiday like she used to. After all, I was kinda mean to her when I found her in the simulation, but I've totally realized she's still a part of me that I need to accept, and I know how much it would have meant to me back then to get gifts that didn't come from the gas station or some back alley light bulb. So that's it. Just hope, make her happy and be happy. Forever, hopefully, Shani. P.S. Oh, and in case you didn't know, she's stuck in the simulation, so you'll probably have to go in there to deliver presents or get Kitty to program them in. Either way, thanks. What did he else? Oh yeah, yes, what? Keith David. Make this simple. All I want this year is one thing: get me off this ship. Seriously, I signed up for 4 years as vice president. This shit here is ridiculous. Keith David. The boss. You've taught me more about the holiday spirit than I've ever thought possible. Thank you. I'm new to this whole Christmas list thing, so bear with me. Whatever Pierce wants, it'll make him happy with that. Whatever Shandy wants, I'm sure she has a reason, so it's probably worth letting her have it. Whatever Keith wants, he certainly worked to serve, so that's good for him. Whatever Ben wants is probably stuff most of us would find boring, but if it makes him smile, then go for it. Whatever Kinsey wants, I'm sure it'll benefit us all in the end, so I'm guessing we'd all like her to have it. Whatever Gat wants, give it to him. Trust me, it's easier that way. Whatever Asho wants, I'm sure she thinks it's important and all, but make sure to throw in something nice and fun for her too. Maybe then she can relax a bit. Whatever Matt wants, I suppose it's okay to let him have. Just don't tell me what it is, and I'll probably be happier that way. Whatever Sid wants, I'd probably check to make sure it's safe first. He has some odd tastes. And for me, a pony. That's the standard first gift to ask for, right? Still full of Polly Spirit, the boss. P.S. I'm sorry I was such a Grinch. Whatever that means, nobody bothered to explain it to me yet, and said fuck Santa before. I didn't mean it. Well, I did mean it at the time, but now I don't. Nice. Christmas text adventure. Holiday past and present. When I was a child, Christmas was my favorite day of the year. My family was always crazy busy with work and school. When December 25th rolled around, it was all about family. Just us, some music, snow on the ground, and the tree that reached the ceiling. It was magic. As I got older, the holiday became less and less special. My siblings went away, my parents broke up, but I always held Christmas in my heart. I believed in Santa. I needed Santa. Little did I know that Santa had been kidnapped. No one knew at first. The Christmas spirit was so strong that everything at the North Pole just kept on going as if nothing happened. Of course, the elves and Miss Claus knew Santa was gone. They also knew that the world must never know. The people of Earth learned Santa was in trouble and true mortal peril. What would raise their spirit during dark times? What would Christmas mean anymore? And so it was Santa's closest friend, an elf named Twinkle, took over Crinkle's annual route. No one was the wiser until a strange visitor arrived one day. The elves had told tirelessly about Santa for decades, constantly worrying about their beloved patriarch and eagerly awaiting some good news about the jolly old elf. So the arrival of the visitor piqued everyone's interest. This visitor, with his shimmering eyes and long white beard, would have been a dead ringer for St. Nick in his early years, for all those dinners of milk and cookie led to his considerable paunch. This is no merry elf. No, this was Santa's brother Terry? Yeah, Santa's brother Terry. Terry Claus. That's supposed to be some kind of pun. Terry Claus. I don't get it. God, I'm good with puns. Terry Claus. This visitor with his shimmering eyes and long white beard would have been should have followed us to spell was Krampus. Very Krampus and Santa stopped speaking centuries ago. No one knows specific about Miss Claus' bets had something to do with their semi-annual card game. Apparently Nick is a bit of a sore loser. Something else. Well, obviously, but really that's as good a description as any. The visitor who came was a mangled and angry spirit who hated everything about holidays and cheer. Snow and elves and reindeer and stockings and coarse synergistic initiative to streamline by production without resulting in outsourcing domestic jobs to politically off-site countries with lax labor laws. He called himself Claus. He had no idea at the time that his We had no idea at the time that this dark monstrosity was ripped right from Santa's brain. That St. Nick's captor, an alien overlord named Zinyak, was breaking Santa's mind piece by piece. Zinyak had taken everything good in Kringle, crumpled it up, spat on it, and dipped it in evil. The result was Claus, Santa's dark shadow. Zinyak had sent Claus to the North Pole to destroy the holidays, and he was successful. Christmas fell, the North Pole burned, and as the joy drained from the season, the spirit of the world turned as to sackcloth, but that is a different story. The rise of Claus. The assault on the North Pole was swift and brutal. The elves maintained a valiant resistance, but with no Santa to give them the holiday boost they needed, even they knew they ultimately could not win. It didn't help matters any that Santa's most trusted elf, the one who had taken every gift-giving duties in his absence, had been persuaded by Claus' side. I am, of course, talking about Twinkle. There's one bright spot to Santa's incarceration by Zinyak. It's that the jolly old elf didn't have to see his best friend in the world turn against him in a holiday darkest hour. Santa would have been shattered. I wish I could tell you that Claus had coerced, threatened, or bullied Twinkle into allying with the foul creature's plan. The truth was far pettier than that. Twinkle was simply tired of being the replacement Santa. The elf took to Claus's cause with gusto. It's a dark time. Worse still was that Twinkle knew Christmas's one true weakness. He knew the one thing that would irreparably turn the tide against Miss Claus and the elf resistance. North Pole. The source of Santa's power and the most potent weapon in the elven arsenal, crafted by the shop's most talented elves and blessed by Father Christmas himself. North Pole's weapon, capable of channeling holiday cheer into a blast of such high intensity, can level a large city in a mushroom cloud of concentrated happiness. It also smells faintly of peppermint. But no one, not Mary, not Santa, not even Blitzen, on one of his drinking binges would dare unleash its power. The North Pole fell into Twinkle's hands, into Claus's hands, and all would be lost. Claus unleashed a full-on assault. His army was unstoppable. The first to fall were the Flying Reindeer, Eno, Dasher, and Dancer, and Prancer, and Vixen. They were the first to die. Claus and his evil army put their heads on pikes and paraded them around the workshop. It was long after that as I would later learn that Claus built his team of mechanical creatures, the Robo-Deer. It wasn't long before the elf resistance and all of Christmas was in shambles. Claus locked Mary away on a remote ice floe and claimed the North Pole for his own. But he was unable to wield it because it relied on the power of giving, even if it was a WMD. But it didn't matter, for Claus was in charge now. The sky over the workshop darkened in a twinkle. That trader became a slave driver. The only hope the world had was a renegade elf. Tinsel was his name. This lone elf managed to break off from the others and escape the ever-watching eye of Twinkle and Claus. Tinsel went to find help, to turn back time if necessary in order to save the holidays. He would find it, but not before the entire world would get put on the naughty list. Claus had taken over the workshop. He had the North Pole in his possession. As Claus was locked away, the reindeer were slain. Twinkle, a traitorous lout, was working the elves to the bone. It was the darkest time in Christmas history. It was about to get darker. With only hours until Christmas, Claus and his minions didn't have long to ruin the holiday, but they didn't need much time. Claus' first stage, Operation Black Christmas, was production of dangerous toys. Long gone were the days of dollies and trains. Claus had his elves rebuild the machines used to create toys that never produced only weapons of war. An army of elves wasn't enough for him. He wanted more, bigger, meaner soldiers. He wanted to turn the world's children to his side. For all, everybody still thought Santa was in charge. News of Nick's imprisonment hadn't spread beyond the workshop, and that happened decades ago. People were oblivious to Claus's regime and his evil intent. Claus was counting on them to do as Santa told them. If Santa gave them guns and knives and nuclear wars to play with, who would turn it down? Good little boys and girls? Exactly, no one. And so the elves went about making their weapons and deadly toys, and into Claus's sack they went. As the hour turned noon, the spirit around the workshop was dire, and no one dared speak up to oppose their taskmaster Twinkle or his boss, the vile Claus. Come midnight, Claus climbed into his sleigh and went about his annual route. His Robo-Deer braying in the cold winter's night. Claus set an arsenal into the stockings under the decorated tree of every household. Not everyone got presents though. There were those Claus had put on the naughty list. Those people got something much worse. Fruitcake. Eternal torment of pain. Worse, these poor souls, unfortunate enough to be deemed naughty by Claus, were not simply denied presents or subjected to lashings. No, Claus had something much worse planned for them. Christmas morning, those who had not made the nicest were seized by mechanical nutcrackers and whisked away to the workshop. They were to become the subject of Claus's grand experiment. They needed those of a naughty disposition to turn into as special soldiers. Turns out Miss Claus was simply locked in a prison on that ice floe. She was being forced by Claus and his crew to create, well, the only word for them is abominations. She was making gingerbread men. Not just ordinary gingerbread men made of sugar and flour. These were cookie soldiers bent on world domination, driven by an insatiable hunger for war. The gingerbread men experiment was failing. They were lacking that special human brains. Christmas had come in with it the reckoning of Claus. The good was given weapons. The not-so-good were kidnapped by sentient nutcrackers to be turned into malicious gingerbread men. Moms and dads around the globe attempted to take the guns and knives and grenade launchers from children, but were met by meltdowns, temper tantrums, and occasional rude gesture. How could Mommy and Daddy hate Santa? Why would they take his gifts away from them? The answer, the parents had no choice but to relent. But this was only the first phase of Claus's plan. The second was enacted on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, 2013, a day which will live in infamy. A fleet of sleighs large enough to block out the sun descended from the northern tip of Earth. Like a black cloud, no one knew it was coming, no one was prepared. Gingerbread men, crazy nutcrackers, elven turncoats, morphed into giants by Claus's power, and a stampeding horde of robo-deer stormed across the land. Scared, defenseless, and more than a little confused, the people of Earth holed up in their homes and sure what to do. Little they prepared for what happened next when Claus' last punch in the sack was even more nefarious, more wicked. Claus's masterstroke was an army of children. What no one knew was that those toys that Claus had given the young people on Earth on Christmas morning, the bayonets and flamethrowers and mine launchers, emitted a high-pitched noise only perceivable by children, that turned them into mindless zombies when triggered by Claus. By pressing a button on the head sleigh, Claus activated his army. The kids picked up their weapons and took their parents hostage. The grown-ups were forced into a large, gaudily wrapped package, tossed into a large pack, and hauled away to the workshop. The nutcrackers set about destroying all that was left behind, smashing cars and bikes and setting homes aflame. With the world burning and citizens captured, Claus set about on the next phase of his plan, but what Claus didn't count on was a rogue elf. Tinsel the elf had ordered Claus's forces and escaped the workshop, had made it civilization just in time to tell a small ragtag group of regular people what Claus, Twinkle, and the rest of their minions had been plotting. Trekking southward from the pole was no mean feat, but Tinsel knew he must get the message out. He had to let the people of Earth know what was coming, and he knew more than anything that the best people to tell were the Saints. That's right, the Saints. Well, actually, just one saint. Me. A big fan of my reality dating show, I Want to Sleep with Shaundi, Tinsel was fixated on finding me, both to get an autograph and to help save the world. Not only had Tinsel managed to get away, he brought something with him. A small pouch of Christmas magic. He didn't have enough to just wish Claus away, but he did have enough so that if enough people believed really hard, magic dust might be able to free the people Claus had brainwashed. It was a long shot, but it was all we had. Of course, the first thing I did was sleep with Tinsel. No, I did not sleep with Tinsel. Stumbled the crew. Yeah, I knew I could handle things on my own, but it never helps. But it never helps to have backup. Never. That doesn't make sense. It never hurts to have backup, or never. First one I called was Johnny. First things first, I wanted more than an elf watching my back. Kinsey was next. She then insisted on calling Keith David, but he was last seen on location playing himself on his own life story. Nobody had his number. Bidding King had taken the money he'd made on that weird sci-fi book he wrote. It was on some remote island somewhere. It was just Matt Miller, but Kinsey shut it down. Apparently she'd had enough of sharing the spotlight with him. Every second we weren't taking action was another moment Claus was ruining the planet. Maybe they called to only bring on one more person, the boss. Of course, they spent the first 20 minutes laughing in my face. They didn't even believe in Santa. They figured Claus was just some crazy alien who followed us home, gave kids a bunch of guns and was now unleashing his armada on us, which oddly enough is actually a more plausible explanation. They were down for helping any time shooting bad guys as part of the plan. The boss once involved, but no way were they buying into Christmas magic or elves or any of that. I like to think they changed their minds. But they didn't. Of course not. Have you met the boss? Look, I respect the hell out of them, and I'm loyal as a dog to them, but open-minded they are not. Once they get some idea in their head, they just I'm going off point. Anyway, we had our crew, and you know what? It felt good. Me, Kinsey, the boss, Johnny, lean and mean, oh, and Tinsel. Lean and mean, and really short, I mean seriously short. He came to my kneecap. Wasn't even going to think about wearing a skirt around this guy. Sorry, going off track again. We had the crew. We had some magic dust. We had an objective take on Claus. How we were actually going to do that? Well, that will be told. Yep. Operation Holiday Hustle. Claus was holding the world hostage. Tinsel had finally made his way to me with a sack of magic dust, which was only kind of disturbing. The crew, the important parts anyway, had been assembled. We knew we wanted to get all those people who had been brainwashed by Claus's twisted presence on our side. So sure as magic dust would do it, but of course there was a problem, which was hitting enough people with it. According to Tinsel, you had to come into contact with dust to be affected by it. We only had a little bit, meaning we couldn't waste a speck, and no good way of distributing it in a wide audience. Kinsey said she could produce more if she had the components, but still said that only Santa could bless the stuff. Without Santa, it was just dead skin cells and sawdust. Tony suggested putting it into a sprayer and hosing people with it. Not a bad idea, but it was the boss who came up with the best plan. Putting in the water supply. Crop dusting. Yep, it appears sometime during the presidency, Pierce had the great idea of hooking up an aerial application apparatus to Air Force One. From what the boss said, it was to be part of Pierce's attempt to paint the whole world purple. Our glorious communications director, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it turns out his harebrained scheme of Pierce was actually going to come in handy. Under the cover of darkness, we made our way to the hangar. We were quite surprised Claus hadn't set up defenses around any command centers or anything. Whether that was a product of his ego or just no oversight is hard to say. Prepared for a counter-assault, we just gotten everything in order when we realized it was out of gas. Good, true, it had been out of gas, but we caught that early on, thankfully. Claus's force attacked us. Tinsel, bless his little elven heart, wasn't the sneakiest elf in the world. He had been trailed the entire way from the workshop to Washington, D.C. Spy following orders from that turncoat, Twinkle reported back to Claus about her plan. As soon as the hangar doors opened, a fleet of sleighs, each one signaled by the screeching of its robodeer, descended from the sky. They came at us, guns blazing. We took cover in the hangar and unloaded what we had. I have no idea how long the battle took, but it seemed to last for hours. Gingerbread men, nutcrackers, weirdly tall elves, and mechanized reindeer surrounded us. Our enemy was strong, but we were determined. After the smoke cleared, it was obvious. We won. It was a draw. Claus won. We were outgunned, outmanned, and had nowhere to run. We had a rocket launcher, climbed aboard Air Force One, and started firing missiles after missile at them. Twinkle, in his robodeer-driven sleigh, swooped down and grabbed me. He dragged me up high into the sky. I remember the look he had, and twisted grin, that disgusting shimmer in his eye. "Happy New Year, girl," he said. Then he say when I landed on the dirt, I was short one arm. That bastard, I was losing blood fast and fading. Last thing I saw was Johnny climbing onto Twinkle's sleigh, and the scream he let out when the elf leveled my arm, still grasping onto that rocket launcher, right at Gat's face. Soon after it was over, Air Force One was grounded, and we were all taken hostage, and Christmas was forever ruined. The planet had fallen to an evil version of Santa and his no-good army of twisted Christmas icons. All hope was lost. We had no choice but to surrender to Claus's will. The world was his now, or so he thought. The Saints had lost. All hope was gone. The world had fallen under the rule of Claus, and not even us Saints could save the day. Johnny was gone for real now. I lost him now. Twinkle insisted on replacing it so that I was still useful. Years went by. The boss was locked away in Claus's office. All the rest of us, including the other Saints with whom we'd been reunited, were put to work in the mines. Our job day in and day out was to collect metals from the earth. All we had to work with were a set of tiny hammers and some thimble-sized buckets. Why Twinkle and his men didn't make human-sized tools for us, I have no idea. Just another sign of their maliciousness, I suppose. They attempted many uprisings, of course, but they were always thwarted by Taskmaster Twinkle. Claus was rarely seen. Twinkle and his giant elves were omnipresent, like starving hawks. They watched our every move. We couldn't wipe a beard of sweat from our brow without bringing down their wrath. It didn't stop us. We developed a code, so gestures, inflections on certain words that helped us communicate with each other, so that we were able to devise a plan right under the noses. The first phase of the operation was infiltrate Claus' office. No, take up Twinkle. Lead a worker uprising. The more the merrier, right? In order to take our cause for good, we needed to make sure Twinkle and his crew were distracted. It's Pierce who came up with the plan. I know I was surprised here. It was Asher and Ben who put it into action. Kinsey faked an inch each to draw the guard's attention. Ben stuck from behind while Asher grabbed the giant elf's weapon. When other guards came running, our rallied the worker. By the time Twinkle and his posse showed up, we had taken the mine. Giant elves lay at our feet, and the workers stood by our side. We were ready for phase 2. Take out the robodeer? Taking out Twinkle. Damn right I was going to get that son of a bitch for my arm. For Johnny and for siding with Claus and helping start this whole mess in the first place. The workers took their tiny tools and acquired guns from the giant elves. Asher and Ben cleared out the others while I leaped on that bastard Twinkle like a jungle cat. I wasted no time pummeling Twinkle to a pulp. With my last punch I drove my fist through the giant elf face and into the ground below. Twinkle down, we stormed Claus's compound, seeing us energize the workers who had been on the assembly line. They took up arms alongside us. The Battle of Santa's Workshop was long and bloody. Sometime during the battle I got my hands on a Crimson Cowboy, the best weapon in the Elven arsenal. We were just outside Claus's office when a robot with a glowing nose charged me. I put my gun and squeezed the trigger. The bullet bounced off the reindeer's metal hide and landed square in my eye. I went down, but I wasn't out. Rose again, and together we tore Rudolph apart. Path to Claus' office now clear. We threw open the door, ready to take that monster down once and for all. The monster room was empty. Claus was gone. I left us a note. Nice try, Saints. You did really well, but I'm afraid we're stuck in living hell. One planet couldn't beat me, don't you see? Now the universe will fall just as easily. By the way, I've got your boss. I'd be lying to say I wasn't sorry for your loss. Had all our fighting been for nothing? No way. We couldn't let Claus win. We couldn't let the tiny horse fall into the machine to stop Claus, but how? Zinniac's time machine. Claus had found Zinniac's time machine and had it hidden in the back of his office. I had never been so happy to see a machine in my life. Kinsey would disagree. Ha ha ha! The machine was mangled, though. Half of it was missing, using parts from the destroyed Robo-Rudolph, some of which were used to fix my eye. The little elven ingenuity. Kinsey and Matt got the machine back in working order, but it only had enough juice to send one of us back. I thought it should be Asher, but Ben suggested Kinsey. It was Pierce who said it should be me. Johnny's lost the most of any of us, he said. Maybe I'd been too hard on Pierce this whole time, I thought. Plus, just didn't come back, we'll still have everybody important. Or maybe not. Still, I agreed I could make the trip back to my home past, but when? How far back to go? I could have traveled back and warned everyone about the Sin invasion, but I also knew I needed to be able to get back to my time. Also, if we had ever been abducted, we wouldn't have gotten Johnny back, so I chose the day before Claus came to power. We would have defeated Zinniac already and had his time machine, but it wouldn't be too late to save Christmas. So the chorus stepped into the machine and hit the button, and like that, I was gone. We had done it. Claus had been defeated. Santa had been saved. The boss even learned the meaning of Christmas, but I couldn't say I had to. I had to get back to my own time, but not before taking part in the most glorious montage the world had ever seen. After that, I said my goodbyes to everyone and stepped into this time machine. For the only day I could press the button to flash the sphere from the past material back to the present. I stepped out of the time machine to find myself inside a museum. Sometime during the decades since we successfully saved Christmas, the Saints had apparently forgotten that I'd be coming through that damn thing and stashed it. It's like a history exhibit. Not that big of a deal except for the fact the museum is closed for the holidays. Really not the most epic of the options, but yes, the museum is closed for the holidays, which meant I couldn't get out. So I broke the glass of my cyber arm, which I did. Well, the side was magnificent. Lights of every color sparkled on the fronts of every building. Children and grown-ups alike were making snowmen on the street corner. From storefronts, I could hear carols and hymns lifting onto the streets. Christmas and those of the holidays, too, had been survived. I asked an orphan boy what day it was, and he told me it was Christmas Eve. Oh, God. There was still time. Okay, the last part didn't happen. But of course I had to come back to the day before Christmas. I had to see it. Didn't know really know yet what first place I went was the boss's place. Same place? Let's pretend. Johnny's. Predictable, right? But look, after everything we'd been through and after losing him again thanks to Twinkle, it was the first place I thought of that would have been proof beyond proof that we let it change the future. But when I went to the store, he didn't answer. I knocked again. No answer. It wasn't until after I busted down his door. The cyber was pretty awesome. I realized he wasn't there. No message, no nothing. Feeling sad and a little bit lonely, decided to stop by Pierce's. Look, I know I'm hard on Pierce and everything, but after Johnny, there's no... I'd rather see him than sorry. I can't. No way. I can't get through that with a straight face. Kinsey's. Like sisters, right? So I figured if anyone knew where Johnny was or know where anybody was, it would be Kinsey. To cap to her instinct and knock on that big ugly garage door, but again there was no answer. I thought about ripping it off his hinges. Could my cyber arm even do that? But no, she was probably off being Kinsey somewhere, you know, Kinsey-ish. Maybe she had moved. I realized that it had been a long time, and people move and hell, people die. Maybe there were no more saints, a sobering thought. Nowhere else to go. I went to my place. I had bought the place outright with the cash I got from that game show, so I figured if any place had the best chance of being around, it was my place. Grabbed the cab and headed home. Couldn't believe nobody was around, or that nobody was there to greet me. I mean, I told them that I was going back to Christmas Eve 2035, so you think at least one of them could mark it on the calendar and maybe say thanks, Shawnee, for warning us about Claus and helping in the tide of human history, and also for saving Santa and Christmas and those other holidays too, but no, nothing for old one-eyed, one-armed Shawnee. The cab left, I stood for a moment in the cold December air. It was dark out, not a hint of snow. Now I should be happy just to be home, but I felt empty, alone, sad. I was heading toward the door when I realized I don't have my keys. Was I going to the bus down my own door? Turns I didn't need to, because as I got close, my door opened. And there he was, Johnny, that big goofy grin on his face, and it wasn't just him. It was Kinsey and Asha, Matt and Ben and Pierce and the boss. They hadn't forgotten. In fact, they all knew the one place I would eventually have to come back to. Welcomed me home with hugs and high fives and rounds of Merry Christmas. Kinsey was just telling us about how Santa had given everyone a special present. Thank you when I heard a strange yet familiar voice from the kitchen yell, "Is she here?" A strange vibe filled the room at that point. Everyone hushed except for Kissy. "Oh," she said, "I suppose I should have warned you." "Sorry, Kinsey," the voice in the kitchen said. "I'm sure she'll recognize me." Into the room walked me, another me. No cyberarm, no robot. Short haircut. I always wonder what I look like with the short hair. Kinsey did her best to explain. You saved Christmas, you started an alternate timeline. This is the you that exists without Claus and Twinkle and all that happening. I admit it was weird, like really weird, but okay, I mean, I was used to hanging out with other versions of me by that point. Hey, let's knock back some nog, what do you say? Typical Pierce, or at least some eggnog flavored Saints Low. So we did. We talked and laughed and shared stories while outside started to snow. We gathered around the tree and sang carols until late. That night, after everyone had left and I was snuggled in my bed, I heard footsteps in my room. I knew it wasn't the name brand. Ooh. Achievement. The immense sneakers of gang thugs by the webbed feet of some alien race, or the tramping metal repulsors of roe deer, but the pitter-patter of hose and the shiny boots of St. Nick. Tomorrow morning I wake up and see what presents Santa delivered me. Whatever it was, I already had the only present I could ever ask for, the best Christmas ever. Ah. Well, that's everything, so I'm gonna end this here, unless there's, maybe more DLC, but I think that's it. But if you like, click subscribe. If you don't, but hopefully you'll like some of my other videos or more episodes of this if they come out with more stuff. So, hopefully see you then. Take care.